Under the ghostly glow of twin moons, young Xyliar clutched his blanket, eyes wide with a mix of fear and fascination. "Tell me again, Father, about the humans," he whispered, his voice trembling slightly in the still night. "Tell me how they saved us all and vanished." On the planet Nyxeria, beneath the ethereal glow of twin moons, a nightly ritual unfolded in the tranquil chamber of a young Nyxerian named Xyliar. His room, a cozy enclave adorned with glowing star maps and soft bioluminescent plants, buzzed with the quiet anticipation of a cherished moment. "Father, will you tell me the story again? The one about the humans?" Xyliar's voice, barely a whisper, broke the silence, his large luminescent eyes reflecting a mix of eagerness and a tinge of apprehension. Zorven, his parent, a scholar of interstellar myths, smiled warmly, settling beside Xyliar on his woven night rest. "Of course, Xyliar. But remember, it's not just a story. It's a legacy of guardians who shaped the stars themselves." Xyliar nestled closer, comforted by the familiar presence of his parent. Outside, the winds of Nyxeria whispered through crystalline canyons, carrying tales of ancient times. "Long before the peace that cradles our galaxy now," Zorven began, his voice deep and soothing, "there was an era swathed in the shadow of a great peril. A cosmic blight, a creeping darkness, spread across the cosmos like a stain, devouring light and life, leaving behind only voids of despair." Xyliar's grip tightened on his blanket, imagining the darkness creeping across star systems. "What did the creatures do?" he asked, his voice laced with both fear and fascination. "The ancient civilizations, mighty and proud, stood helpless as their stars flickered and died. Among them, the Drayan, our ancestors, known for their stellar forges, watched their flames sputter under the suffocating cloak of the blight. But then, the whispers started," Zorven continued, leaning closer, as if imparting a secret. "Whispers of a young species, unremarkable in the grand tapestry of the cosmos. Yet, they possessed something unique, an unyielding spirit, and a knack for facing the darkness where others saw only the end." "Humans," Xyliar breathed out the word like a sacred incantation. "Yes, humans," Zorven affirmed. "They were creatures of fire and ingenuity. Where others saw an unstoppable tide of doom, they saw puzzles to solve, challenges to overcome. With their curious minds and brave hearts, they delved into forgotten wisdom, sought lost artifacts, and pieced together ancient secrets." Xyliar's imagination soared as he pictured humans, smaller and frailer than many cosmic beings, armed with nothing but their courage and wits, standing against a cosmic horror that had extinguished much mightier races. "They did not cower," Zorven said, his voice swelling with pride. "They united, drawing together species from across the stars, forming alliances based on mutual respect and shared fears. They led a coalition the likes of which the galaxy had never seen." "But Father, how did they fight the blight?" Xyliar's question was tinged with impatience, his young mind eager for the climax. Zorven's gaze drifted toward the night sky visible through the open dome of their dwelling, where stars danced quietly against the darkness. "With a weapon, Xyliar, not of destruction, but of creation. Forged from the very essence of existence, it was a daring gambit, a masterstroke of their unique human genius, designed to turn the blight's own power against it." As the moon's light cast shadows across the room, Xyliar felt a chill that had little to do with the night air. He understood, as his father paused, that this was no ordinary tale. It was a testament to the power of unity and bravery. "Sleep now, little one," Zorven whispered, seeing the awe and slight fear in his son's eyes. "Dream of the stars and the guardians who watch over them, for their spirit, like their story, lingers on a beacon in the night." As the twin moons of Nyxeria set beyond the horizon, ushering in the dawn, Xyliar found himself clinging to the fragments of his dream's visions of humans, standing defiant against the cosmic blight. At breakfast, his curiosity could not be contained. "Father, how did the humans rise to lead the galaxy against such darkness?" Xyliar asked, his eyes wide with a mixture of reverence and curiosity. Zorven, sipping his morning brew of glowing nectar, smiled at his son's insatiable curiosity. It was their spirit, Xyliar. The humans, though physically weaker than many species, had a resilience that outshone even the brightest star. Their leaders were visionaries, seeing connections and possibilities where others saw only chaos. The blight had spread, unfettered, through systems, swallowing worlds whole. It was during these dark times that the humans used their greatest asset, their minds. They convened a council of races, the first of its kind, where every voice was heard and every fear acknowledged. But what did they actually do? Xyliar prodded, eager to understand the specifics. Zorven leaned forward, lowering his voice as if the very walls might be listening. They launched the Arclight Initiative. It wasn't merely a battle strategy, but a comprehensive plan involving science, diplomacy, and, most crucially, ancient wisdom. Humans had this unique propensity to delve into history, unearthing relics and records that many had forgotten. He paused, ensuring Xyliar grasped the gravity of the undertaking. One such relic was the star map of Eldoris, an artifact so old that it predated most known civilizations. It contained star paths and wormholes, unknown to contemporary charts, which allowed unexpected maneuvers across blighted space. Xyliar's imagination raced with images of starships darting through hidden cosmic pathways, a chess game played on an interstellar scale. Was that how they fought the blight? He asked, a note of excitement in his tone. Partially, Zorven replied, but the true game-changer was their ability to innovate. Humans engineered a virus, not one that affected living tissue, but one that targeted the blight's energy matrix. It was a bold experiment in cosmic virology, something no species had dared to attempt. They turned the blight against itself, Xyliar whispered, understanding dawning upon him. Exactly, Zorven affirmed, proud of his son's quick grasp. The virus destabilized the blight's advance, buying time for the coalition to strengthen defenses and evacuate threatened systems. It was a temporary solution, but it showcased the power of human ingenuity under pressure. But how did the other species react? Did they trust the humans? Xyliar's question hinted at the complexities of interspecies alliances. At first, there was skepticism, even fear. But as human strategies began to yield results, trust grew. From being seen as the underdogs, humans were soon regarded as the galaxy's best hope. Under the star-strewn sky of another evening, Xyliar sat, anticipation painting his features, as the day's end brought another chance to dive into the tales of the humans. His father, Zorven, with a somber tone matching the gravity of the night, prepared to recount the most critical chapter of the human saga. As the Arclight Initiative slowed the blight's advance, the humans prepared for what they knew would be the apex of their struggle. Zorven began, his voice steady, yet laden with an unspoken sadness. It was time for the Starlance Project, humanity's boldest plan yet, to take center stage. Xyliar leaned in, his breath held tight, as his father described the Starlance, a monumental device, not just a weapon, but a beacon of last resort. The Starlance wasn't designed just to repel or damage. It was meant to cleanse, to reset the cosmic balance disrupted by the blight. The assembly of such a device was a marvel of cooperation, combining the knowledge, resources, and energy of countless allied species. Zorven continued, illustrating the unity brought about by human diplomacy. But as the coalition built the Starlance, the blight, sensing a threat, mustered its full might for a crushing blow. Zorven paused, allowing the gravity of the moment to sink into Xyliar's eager mind. The final confrontation wasn't just a battle. It was a cataclysm. Fleets of starships, led by humans, clashed with the blight in the voids between stars. The blight was relentless, but the allied forces, inspired by human resolve, held the line. Xyliar's eyes widened as his father described the activation of the starlance. With the push of a button, a pulse of pure, searing light exploded from the starlance, a lance not just piercing the night, but also the very fabric of the blight. The battle turned in that instant, but the victory was bittersweet. Why bittersweet? Xyliar interjected, caught in the suspense of the narrative. Zorven sighed deeply, his expression a mask of heroic melancholy. Because, my son, the energy needed to power such a monumental device came at a dire cost. The starlance drew upon the life force of Earth itself, the human's beloved home. The young Nyxerian's heart ached at the thought, his mind grappling with the magnitude of such a sacrifice. So, they saved us all by giving up everything. Yes, Zorven confirmed, his voice thick with emotion. As the blight receded, defeated and diminished, the galaxy breathed a collective sigh of relief. Yet, there was no jubilation, for the cost of peace was the silence of humanity. Earth, once a vibrant cradle of life and hope, became a memory. Xyliar sat back, the tale weighing heavily on him. He pondered the depths of the courage required to make such a decision, to sacrifice one's home for the greater good. Chapter 4. Echoes of their legacy. The next evening, under a sky brushed with the iridescent colors of dusk, Xyliar and Zorven settled into their familiar spots by the window overlooking the tranquil Nyxerian highlands. The air was filled with a reflective quietude as Zorven prepared to conclude the tale of the humans, a story that had deeply moved both teller and listener. As the blight faded into a dark whisper of the past, the galaxy found itself at a crossroads. Zorven started, his voice a gentle murmur blending with the evening breeze. The immediate threat was gone, but the cosmos was forever changed. The great sacrifice of the humans had not only defeated a cosmic horror, but had also ignited a new era of unity and cooperation among the stars. Xyliar, absorbing every word, felt a mix of sadness and awe. "What happened after they were gone, father?" he asked, his young mind struggling with the concept of such profound loss. The disappearance of Earth and its brave denizens left a void both literal and metaphorical. But in that emptiness, there was also a binding legacy, Zorven explained. His gaze distant, but his voice filled with a solemn warmth. The remaining civilizations, those saved by the humans' final act, began to weave tales of these guardians. Not just to mourn, but to remember and to learn. He paused, ensuring his son understood the depth of this legacy. Memorials were erected on countless worlds, not as monuments to sorrow, but as beacons of enduring gratitude and inspiration. The humans had shown the galaxy the strength found in unity, the power of diversity, and the courage to face the unknown. Xyliar nodded slowly, his heart swelling with a complex cocktail of emotions. "Did they ever forget?" he asked, the idea of such monumental altruism lingering heavily in his thoughts. "Not truly, Xyliar. While the humans themselves were no longer present, their ideals, their courage, and their spirit lived on. Annual remembrances were held across galaxies, attended by millions who owed their peace to the lost Earth. Schools taught human philosophies, their arts, and their sciences, ensuring that while the planet was gone, its cultural and intellectual contributions would endure. But more importantly, Zorven continued, turning to look directly at his son. The humans inspired a new generation of leaders and peacemakers. Just like the stories I tell you, parents across the cosmos shared these tales, fostering a new age where the fear of the blight was replaced by a commitment to uphold the unity that had saved them. As the stars began to twinkle into existence above, Xyliar felt a profound connection to this distant, vanished race. "So, they're like heroes in the shadows, always watching over us," he mused, a sense of comfort drawing a smile across his face. "Exactly, my son," Zorven affirmed, pride evident in his tone. And just like those heroes, we must carry their torch forward. We remember them not because they vanished, but because they gave us a future where we strive to be as brave, as selfless, and as united as they were. That night, as Xyliar lay in bed, the tale of the humans no longer seemed like a distant myth, but a personal beacon. He drifted off to sleep, not with a mind troubled by fears of cosmic horrors, but inspired by the undying human spirit, dreaming of the day he too would make a difference, guided by the legacy of those who had turned sacrifice into salvation.